In the men's sheds, the men's shed is really a group of men, and it's not necessarily a shed or a building, it's the group. And from there, you could meet in a barn, you could meet nowhere, you could meet out in the field, or you could meet in a building. But those guys are the main ingredient for the men's shed. Obviously you do, you need somewhere to meet and work and do things, even if it's only to sit around and drink tea.
In the US, I'm a professor and conduct research with older adults. I'm most interested in understanding how individuals continue to live purposeful and meaningful lives in older adulthood. I went to Ireland to learn more about men's sheds. Although men's sheds are open to any men, many of the members are retired. A men's shed is a gathering place for men of all ages to get together, talk with one another, learn new skills, and work on projects together. Men's sheds started in Australia in the 1980s, but since then they have expanded to other countries. Currently, Ireland has more men's sheds per capita than anywhere else in the world, making it an ideal place to learn more about this phenomenon. I wanted to understand how participating in Irish men's sheds contributed to purpose and meaning in the lives of older men, and to see the activities that they were engaged in. I spent 4 months interviewing men in County Limerick and explored both city and rural sheds. Each men's shed was a little bit different. Some sheds focused more on woodwork, others more on art, music, or gardening. There was a sense of togetherness, inclusion, and belonging that I clearly felt at each shed. Despite coming from diverse backgrounds, there was a genuine intention of including all men. They welcomed me and were proud to share what the men's shed means to them.
The variety of men then is the interesting thing. There's 24 men's sheds in Limerick. There's 11 in the city, and the rest are spread around the county. So there's no two sheds alike, You might be lucky and you might find, but they all do different things, and they've all got a different mix of men. Some sheds might have a lot more younger men, and some sheds might have a lot more older men, but you might have guys that are retired, dentists, doctors, aircraft pilots, farm workers. Whatever the mix is, they decide then amongst themselves, what project are we going to do next,
Doon is a parish of County Limerick, and we're on the borderline here between Limerick and Tipperary. Tipperary is a different county again. And it's a rural parish. We have a lot of old people here. Our young people are gone to work in England and America, Germany, here and there, everywhere. And this came along, the men's shed. I think it was opened it started off in 2011. And the first shed, I believe, was in Tipperary, which is 10 miles away from here.
The ethos of the men's shed is companionship and a cup of tea and meat and talk.
My name is Bob Houston. I live in Duness, Clonlara, County Clare. I am retired public servant, and I'm also retired when I retired from the public servant, I spent 14 years in the private sector as well, and I've retired from that now as well.
Okay, very good. And tell me a little bit about how you got involved with the men's shed in Belcare.
The reason I had it on my wish list when I did retire, I tried to fulfill my days, that I felt that I didn't want to be just lazing around. I needed to find certain things, the men's shed for instance, to keep me thinking busy, keep me.
Sure.
So it was always on my mind to join the men's shed.
Prior to being retired, we often idolize and look forward to what life might be like when we have more time. In reality, many men find the transition to be challenging. The men that I spoke with explained how retirement left them feeling isolated and missing the camaraderie of their coworkers. Several of the men opened up about loneliness that they experienced, and they weren't sure how to spend their time or how to structure their days. During retirement, older adults want to have a purpose, feel useful, and want to remain engaged. As a Men's Shed member, they're able to get involved in learning new skills, such as woodworking, participate in gardening, exercise, or share a cup of tea with a new friend. The Men's Shed creates a feeling of belonging and a feeling of mattering. This is vital in older adulthood, especially as men experience age-related changes. The philosophy around Men's Shed is that men talk better shoulder to shoulder rather than face to face, and that by doing things together, they will be able to open up and confide in one another over time. The men that I spoke with gave each other significant levels of social support that helped them cope with health changes, taking on new roles such as caregiving, or even grieving the death of a partner. There's something powerful and comforting about sharing your worries and fears with others who have gone through something similar.
A typical day would be coming up, having a cup of tea first and testing what we're going to do. You know, someone might be outside doing something and some might be inside doing something else. You know, it's leisurely. I mean, you're at your own pace, and like, you know what I mean? You're not bullied into it or anything like that. You know, you're doing a bit and you can sit down if you want and have a cup of tea if you get tired.
I think we've always had a sense of purpose here, because from the first day I came in, I could see with the atmosphere that was here that there was a great friendliness between all the members that were here, and they were anxious to get to know who you were, and you know, that they were free to talk to you, and there was nobody being shy with anybody else. And so I think this, and they're all willing to help each other. If I wanted to do something at home and I needed a small bit of help, well, some of the lads from here would come over and give me a hand for a few hours.
A sense of purpose in the shed. I think that every day there's a sense of purpose in the shed, because going back to what I said originally, like, to us the Men's Shed is about meeting, and if you can come in and there's lads in there with a smile on their face, or if you tell a story and you light somebody's life day up, that's a sense of purpose to me. That you can come in and say hello to somebody and maybe listen, or they listen to you, because neither of us know what the other person worries about. And I think that there's a sense of purpose every day that you get up, and every day you can come out and give something or receive something, because oftentimes it's good to receive as well. And I firmly believe that coming into the Men's Shed, it lights up. It's the purpose of coming in. It's the purpose of getting up and saying, I'm going to meet the lads today. I'm going to, whether I put a screw in the wrong place or whatever I do, right or wrong, but I'm going to meet somebody. And I think that would be a great sense of purpose.
The thing about it is that I said that I would have got depressed. Well, they all said that it's a different kind of depression. It's a kind of a loneliness. At home, you say, looking out the window, nothing to do. And what am I going to do today, and what am I going to do tomorrow? So the thing I would say about that is that the Men's Shed is a great place to keep people from getting depressed, and not to be sitting at home looking out the window with little to do.
Yeah.
And it's just a place. It's a place that suits me, you know.
How would you say it feels to be a Men's Shed member?
There's a certain element of comradeship in it, and most definitely, I suppose, a bit of pride. that you're meeting other people who may live on their own, and you're giving them the opportunity, as yourself, for social interaction, which maybe otherwise wouldn't happen. There are a lot of us here who are married, so we obviously have a social interaction at home. But some people are single. Whether they're single by choice or single by the way life has gone on, whatever. And it's just nice to be able to meet people like that and to treat them like a brother.
Has phenomenal potential, and every time someone walks in that gate that might have been here before, first of all, you're enthusiastic that they're here and you try to welcome them, but then you see what they have to offer. Everybody has something, but even if they don't have something to offer, just to get them involved and make them feel welcome, I think that's important.
You come in, you have your laugh and a joke, and you meet up, and you don't have to do anything. You can just come and you can confide in people. And that's great too, that men can they can open up. It takes a while for a man to open up, but they can open up to each other.
I felt it was important to have an inclusive membership where people were able to feel free, not just to get involved in carpentry or whatever, but to talk about their own problems they may have had with us. Some of them have had bereavements in the past. Some of them have had difficulties with their health. And I think that the fact that they can talk with us and they know that whatever they say to us within the shed stays in the shed. You with me? And those people feel comfortable talking about themselves. And for me personally, with the pandemic and so on, with the fact that you're isolated, I mean, Irish people are very communicative, but obviously if you live in a little distance from another person, you don't have that level of interaction. And it certainly helps when you're able to just relax and talk and have a cup of tea and so on with people of your own age.
I think my life is a bit better, because it's I'm alone. I'm not married, so but I do work at home myself, So, but this is I advise anybody to join a men's shed,
We're open to new members at all times. Everybody is welcome here, and it's great to see them. And we're a great bunch. We kind of gel together, and everybody's welcome.
There's a place for men's sheds in society in a modern world. We have shown in Ireland in 10 years, say, from when men's sheds really it started before that, but it really got organised and properly started 10-12 years ago. And I think men's shed has shown to the government, to the health service board, and mental health is a huge area as well, because when men are happy and men are looked after and feel they have a purpose and a support network, not just in the shed but buddy system, and they can always maybe drop in, it's very important for guys who are isolated, and as they're getting older, their partner might pass away, their children have flown the coop and they're in different parts of the world or whatever, so there's a lot of loneliness and isolation. And I think men's shed has proven to not just fit in one of the jigsaw pieces in society, but a number of them, I think, across the board. And I think it's recognised by government, but I think it could do it more recognition that it is, I think, Men's Sheds isn't a fly-by-night thing, it's proven it's here to stay.
The men showed me that their lives are better because of the shed. At the end of the day, we all need a place where we feel like we belong, and the Men's Shed provides that. It's a place where older men in particular can continue contributing to society in meaningful ways. They can provide support to a fellow shed member, give back to their community through volunteering, teach other men new skills, or simply sit in each other's company. In these ways, men's sheds are facilitating and strengthening meaning and purpose in the lives of older men. They are also helping to reduce social isolation and loneliness in their communities.